Hey guys, welcome to the Go Bigger podcast. Today I am interviewing my friend and my client, Jude, the general merchant. Jude is an absolutely incredible human being, but more than that, he's a retired soldier who decided to monetize his knowledge by selling digital products and coaching online. Jude came into my program, he invested, and then he had a little bit of turnarounds and challenges, but overall, he has overcome them. So I wanted to bring Jude here to share his story with you guys, and I hope that you enjoy this episode. Hey Jude, welcome to the Go Bigger podcast. It's so awesome to have you here. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I'm really good to be here. Okay, I'm so excited.
Awesome. I wanted us to have this chat because you have been winning in a particular area that I couldn't wait for the audience on the podcast to hear about. And I think for me, it was basically the fact that you are doing something that I used to talk about that, and I used to encourage people to do, but a lot of people struggle with. So we're going to talk about that in a moment.
Yeah.
But I wanted you to have the opportunity to basically give us some backstory of how you got to be here right now, and we can take the story further from there.
I'm in this space because I wanted to be in the digital space. Yeah, especially from the beginning, I didn't even know something like this existed. So one of the reasons I found out about this page, no, sorry, this space was through your Instagram feed. Okay, should I had to follow you for I think over a year before learning some things from you, obviously. But before I got to that, I was in Italy for 2 years for my master's degree, and then from there I came to France to join the military.
Wow.
Yes, I came to France to join the French Foreign Legion. It's a branch of the French army for foreigners. So any
Mhm.
man from the ages of 17 and a half to 40 years can join if you're a foreigner. You
Wow.
don't need to speak French. So I came to France to join the army. And then 2 years into the army, I decided that I was not going to be no more in the army. Aside that, because I have people at home that I feed, quotes on quotes, you know the African tax, you know. So the money from the military obviously was not enough. The basic salary, what we make in the army, obviously, is not enough to kind of take care of some amount of people back home. That was actually my awakening to search other to look for other sources of income. Aside
Mm.
the fact that I wanted to be financially free and all that. But for me, my primary reason was actually to be able to effortlessly help the people back home.
Mm.
That was my
Okay.
yeah. That
Do
was
you mind if I draw you back a little bit? Because I like how you jump straight into the story, but I feel like you're skipping things that we want to know. I want to know.
all
It's
right.
basically of all the professions in the world, why did you choose the army? And like, weren't you scared?
I was scared. I can't tell you that I wasn't scared. Of course I was scared. I was so scared. I'm going to tell you a story real quick.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
going, I'm going to tell you real quick about being scared. But yeah, I was scared. But a couple of my reasons for joining the army was first, like everyone else, for the adventure and all that. One of my main reasons is because in my country, it comes with so much prestige. It comes with so much prestige. You are highly respected. You are highly respected if you are in the army. And the respect doesn't really end with you. It extends to your spouses, your kids, your family. That was one of the reasons. And another reason is that there is this man I really admire. He was in the army. A couple of my mentors I really admire. They were in the army. One is the late Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. He's the ex-president of Ghana. He was in the army. He's a highly disciplined man. I really respect him. And there was the one that had a bank also in Ghana, Captain retired Kofi Amwabin. I respect these men a lot. Okay. And of course, obviously, I wanted to follow in their footsteps. That's where the military thing, actually came. When I came to the army, was I scared? Hell yeah, I was scared. I was
Mm.
scared even more than I would be scared of anything else in the world, right? Why? At a point, when we were going through the test in the army, okay? There's a swimming test. And you know where I come from, we don't really know how to swim. I don't know if you know. Do you know how to swim yourself? You know how to swim?
I actually learned to swim in the UK.
At what age?
I think I was like 20 when I learned to swim, 19 or 20 when I learned to swim. But most people in my family, most people from my background, it's true, they don't know how to swim.
Yeah.
So I forced myself to,
Learn
this is something I must learn.
at the age of 20. Kids here are learning at the age of even months, they are learning how to swim at months or years old. Yeah, at months old. So when I came, I didn't know how to swim, and swimming was part of the test to enter, to be enlisted in the army. Did I know swimming was part of the test? Yes, I knew it. But I'm somebody who takes steps even when I don't feel ready. I knew I didn't know how to swim, but I came anyway. But before I came, did I practice to swim? Yes, I did. I did for months. I was not seeing any progress. And I was like, well, I'm not going to make my non-swimming technique stop me from enlisting in the army. And you know what is interesting about that step I took? Right before I got into France, right before I got into the army, that is where when the borders of the world started closing for COVID. So if I had delayed even for 1 week, one more week, just because I wanted to be perfect in swimming before taking the step, the borders would have been closed on me.
And you won't have been able to make it to
No,
the 10.
no, no.
Wow.
I knew I wasn't perfect, but I still made that step. So back to the story. The swimming in the army, whatever you say, you need to prove it. So if you say you know how to swim, you need to prove it. If you say you don't know how to swim, you need to prove it.
Mm.
How does one swim? How does one prove they don't know how to swim? What do you think? By drowning. That's how you prove you don't know how to swim. So you see, there is a board you stand on to dive, right? So I got on the board. The question was, do you know how to swim? That's the first question they are going to ask you. Do you know how to swim? I said no. I thought they were going to ask me to stand aside. That was my prayer, actually. How do I show you that I don't know how to swim? They say, don't be scared. You jump into this and then you swim to that end, 25-meter pool. You swim to that end and back, okay? I said, okay. Comment at that point, I knew I didn't know how to swim. And for me personally, before I take any step, especially the bold ones, I ask myself two questions. The question is, what do you stand to lose from it? Already I know what to gain. That is my why, okay? But what do I stand to lose from it? If I'm able to define clearly what I'm able to lose from this step I'm about to take, then the second question would be, am I okay with what I'm about to lose?
Oh.
And then at that second question, if your answer to that question, the second question is a yes, nothing can stop you.
Mm.
At that point that I was about to jump into the pool, I asked myself, what do I stand to lose? I get to drown, I can be uncautious, and I can even die as a result. So I came to my second question. Am I okay with drowning? Am I okay if something happens to me? Am I okay if I don't come back alive? I said yes to all of them.
Wow.
And guess what? I jumped.
Then what happened?
I drowned. Yes, I did. I drowned.
Wow.
I actually swallowed water. Till now I don't know for how long I was under there, but I was later brought out alive, obviously because I'm still here. At that point, I was disappointed I couldn't swim, yes,
Mhm.
but I knew that an obstacle had left my way because
Mm.
I had proven. That is what they wanted me to prove, to prove to them that I didn't know how to swim. And when we went back to base, I became the laughing stock.
Mm.
Okay, almost everybody there was laughing at me. I remember clearly there were some guys from Australia and America who were clearly laughing at me. They were like, you're not going to be, obviously, you're not going to be selected. So I'm going to give you this advice. At that point, everyone around you has an advice for you.
Mm.
At that point, that as you are at a rock bottom, everybody has an advice for you. So they were advising me, why didn't you learn how to swim before you came there? I was like, you guys don't know my story. You don't know where I'm coming from. I come from a place where I grew up near the sea. But the sea was about 200 to 300 meters from our house. I could see it every morning. Why don't you know how to swim? Because as kids, we were punished when you went to the beach. We were told stories of people dying there. As kids, you guys don't know my story. But I still did what I did, and you are here to judge me. Okay, let's see. So a couple of days came, the final results came for the selection. And lo and behold, my name was mentioned. Most of the guys who were laughing, most of the guys who could swim better than me, not only swim, but better than most of us, most of the guys who ran faster than me, most of the guys who did more pull-ups than me, most of the guys who passed so many things than me were not selected. I was selected. I didn't know how to swim, but the army chose me.
Wow.
Over the guys I thought, even myself, deep down, I thought were really better than me. The military chose me.
Did they ever tell you why?
No, they never did. But there was a time I saw my file in an office. I think one of the comments were, this is a guy that will take with him along people, even whether he's right or wrong.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
So basically, they're saying you're a leader, and the army obviously needs
I
leaders.
didn't even think about it that way, actually.
Oh, wow. Again, I wouldn't think that that is a part of divine selection. I feel like there are a lot of times in our lives that we're trying to do things very well. We're trying to be perfect at things, but it's not the most perfect person that gets selected. In
No.
fact, the Bible says that the race is not to the swift or the battle to the strong. And I think that this story that you're telling me, it just emphasizes that for me. Like a lot of the times people are trying to be perfect. And you don't need to be perfect. You
No.
just need to move in faith.
Move. That is
Just
the
move and
move.
things will happen.
If you move, can I promise you things will happen? I can't. But if you don't move, I can promise you nothing is going to happen.
Why then, after getting into the army, did you now feel like, do you know what? This is not what I want to do. I think I'm going to leave.
All right. So, okay, before you get into anything, you have an idea or you think you have an idea about it, right? So I got into the army and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't the life I had actually imagined for myself, you know? This has nothing to do with physical test and training and all that. If I can purposefully drown myself in the pool, I could take whatever comes to me physically. I could take it. So far from it. When I got into the army, I think after a couple of years, there were things that were not, I saw that were not really there was obviously some things it's in the army. I can't say it online, but it got to a point that I felt left out,
Mm.
you know, to an extent, even due to my skin color. You know, your leaders are telling you that you are even better than are getting the promotions. And why was I not getting the promotions? Because they felt I was antisocial. Why were they thinking I was antisocial? Because I don't drink and smoke. So most times when they are doing things like that, I won't be there. It's not the way I am. I can't fake it. If I don't smoke, I don't smoke. If I don't drink, I don't drink. I can't even force myself to it. And in the army, you'll be forced to do some things that I can't even say online. It got to a point that I I think or I feel some people were being favored, you know, and I was being sidelined more of because of my color. There are some issues that are not related to that, but I saw most of the issues, related to that. Because if you are telling me I'm better than this person, why you not giving me what I'm asking? You know, I saw how it was, and at a point, yeah, a man has to settle, right? So I knew that this is not the kind of life I would want if I should get married, you know? I want to be a present father. I want to be there when the baby is kicking in my wife's belly. I want to experience things like that.
Mm.
And when I'm in the army, I'm not going to get that. I have people in the army who even when our permission or our vacation, our leave is delayed for 2 hours. If you look into their face, we are men, we don't cry. But if you look into their face, they would want to cry. Why? Because they are going to miss their daughter's flight, they are going to miss their wife's flight. These little things I got to know from the faces of people in the army and people I spoke to. Someone told me he's not going to sign the contract again because he missed the first steps of his daughter. These are things. We are men. People might think that we don't think about these things, but trust me, we love these things. We want them. You want to come home to those little hands and cute faces and all that. And it's difficult, very difficult to get it in the kind of army that I was. So
Mm.
that also contributed to the factor that I was thinking I wanted to leave.
Yeah, I was even getting emotional just listening to that, just thinking that because of your job, you'll be missing out on like really big things
Yeah.
in your family, really big things going on with your kids. And I think I can even imagine just as a parent, if I had to work so much that I missed my child's first steps, it's something you can't get back.
No, no, you can't.
So I understand. I think I get it to an extent. Can I ask you, was there any point before you left that you thought, let me just endure for 5 more years?
Yes, yes, I did. I did, especially in the last days. One of the reasons too, most of the people would want to join the French Foreign Legion, if you come from where I come from, is that
Mm.
you would want some documentation, you understand, to be able to stay in Europe. That is one of the reasons we joined. And at that point, especially with a year left on my contract, these people had not given me any of those things. I had kept asking and they kept refusing me. Like nobody was there to talk for me. Nobody was there to speak for me on my behalf. In those big rooms, you would need somebody to speak for you. At that point, yes, I was thinking, because at that point, it was the point they gave me a contract to sign again. I still refused. Though I didn't have any stay permit to go out, I didn't have any nationality or whatever. I didn't have any of those things. I didn't even have a military driver's license. After 4 years of service, people had it. People were getting their stay permits. I was older in service than. They told me you have to get 5 years in service before you get your permits. But they were giving it to people 3 years in the service. You have a leadership doing this to you. You wouldn't even have the zeal to work again. So yes, I thought about resigning again, but I still didn't because I was so lucky at a point I got somebody that has the same skin color as me. He asked me why I wanted to leave. I told him my story and he said, I'm going to fight for you. And then he did, and I got those things I wanted to get.
That is an incredible thing. Do you know what I'm hearing from this story you're telling me is if you don't give up and you keep pushing, eventually you might be bashing your head against a wall, or that's how it feels, but eventually things shift,
Yes.
things start to happen for you. I mean, this is the story of favor and just grace. But I think for me is many people would have given up. Many people would have just said, well, I'm not getting the papers. I'm not getting the license, the driver's license. I'm just going to leave and just take it like that. But from what you're telling me, you didn't give up. You never gave up. I met you a while ago now, and the way time is flying. I think I met you like 2 years ago now,
Yeah.
right? And at that time, you came and you said you were looking for something else. So can you tell us about that? So it's not coming from me. Tell us, like, what were you looking for at that point in your career
Yeah, because
that made you come and speak with me? Yeah.
yeah, because I knew I wanted to leave. Okay. I had to get another source of income. Okay, so that was the main motive. And before I had spoken to you, I had been following you for a while, because like I said, I needed to trust you.
Mm.
Why? Because I had spoken to a couple of people earlier in the online space that I didn't pay any money to, but I never saw them again. Their accounts, if you search their accounts, their account user not found. You see that thing, you see user not found. Yeah, a couple of them on Facebook, in Instagram, I was finding them, I was meeting them everywhere. So when I met you, when I saw you online, I just had to trust you before. Yeah, from the beginning, I knew this is the real deal, but this is an online space.
Yeah.
Anybody can exist in an online space. The point where I texted you was the point that I was sure for myself.
So you came into the program, you invested in the program, you said, hey, I'm going to give this digital marketing thing a shot. I'm going to monetize my skill. I'm going to start selling online. What happened after that? Can you tell us, like, how did you choose to monetize your skill? And then what happened after that?
Okay. So when I came into the space, of course, in the model there's the mindset shift and all those things, yeah. So we went through that even, but before that, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be in the online space, but I didn't know. Did I have an idea? Maybe a couple of ideas, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to make money online, and that's what we were talking about. I just came that, hey, come here, I want to make money online. So I got into the program, and then there are steps to go through to be able to make your imagination come to life or to make things clear. So of course we went through that, and I went with a niche of helping people to join the military. But so I remember clearly that I remember one day that when I came up with that, you told me that you see me going into weight loss. So maybe in future I could consider that. That's what you said, right? In future I could consider that. I was like, okay, but I trust me, I didn't even think about it. Okay. When you said it, I didn't even think about it, honestly, because I really wanted to focus on helping people to join the military. But at a point, I got some success there though. I grew my Instagram account to, I think, over 3K. It was a new account, right? It
Yeah.
was a new account, and I grew it over 3K followers in a space of, I think, 1 or 2 months. People were messaging constantly. People were messaging constantly, asking about my offer and things like that. It got to a point that all the passion and the zeal and everything that I came in with, the why, the nose, everything just came crumpling in.
Mm.
I didn't even have the zeal to post. I didn't feel good about the army, with the life that was, with the things that was happening in the military. And I was like, if this is happening to me in the army, why would I want to help people to come and experience what I don't want to
Mm.
experience? I was asking, if I'm going through this, why would I want to? And one of the things you said in the program was, if you go to this online space, you want to be yourself. If you don't do these things and you try to fake it online, it's going to come crashing down. At that point, I didn't feel the army is a safe space even for anyone else. So that is when we got on a call. I don't know if you would
Yeah.
remember. You were in your car.
Yeah.
That is where we got on a call. And then you reminded me that you once said that I was going to go into weight loss. But even before that call, I knew I want to now go into weight loss, because I had
Yeah.
think about it and I had gone through the process, because when I was sidelined and all those things, I got some migraines, and because of that, I was sidelined. I gained all the weight and I had to lose it all again. So at that point, I spoke to you and you was like, yeah, you knew it, or you said something like you knew it, or you saw it, or something along those lines, because you had already said it after hearing my story. After we started restructuring things, and then, I had to take a break from social media posting and content creation and things like that, because That was during the process. I was doing a lot of things in the army to be able to live, Yeah. And I was not even, at a point, I was not even getting the time. I could go to bed around 3 a.m. and then wake up around 5:30 a.m. Repeating that for 7 days in a week. But there were times that you would come and checking up on me to see what is happening. You would ask me, am I making sales? Or you would ask me, well, how is it going and all that. At those times, I was not doing anything. But the fact that you came back asking me, I thought to myself, if you kept asking me, then that means there's still something to be done. You were looking for some specific answers that I didn't have for you at that time. So maybe I should just visit my why and all those things, reasons I started, So yeah, long story short, I left the army. And then I didn't have the motivation again to even be in the online space. But I knew where to go to. I knew I had to come back to DIS. Lucky for me, I knew where to go to.
Oh my God.
Lucky
Sure.
for me, that is when I continued to start creating the content and pushing it on Instagram. At first I started posting 3 days a week, 3 times in a week. So maybe I'll post Monday, I'll post Wednesday, and then a Friday on Instagram, okay? But on Instagram, it got to a point I was not seeing the progress I had seen before.
Two things you've mentioned. First of all is DIS.
Yeah.
So for anybody listening to this that doesn't know what DIS stands for Digital Income Secrets, which is my program where I teach people how to monetize their skills and sell digital products and coaching online. Now, the second thing you mentioned, Jude, was that you could come into Zoom and there was no pressure for you to sort of have an amazing story to tell me. You just wanted to be in the same space. And
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, they don't understand that community helps you succeed.
So,
There's several things. If you try to do it by yourself, you will fail.
yes.
But if you are constantly in a space where people are talking about the thing, people are excited about the thing, people are doing what you want to do, you start to feel motivated even if you didn't have motivation before. Your chances of succeeding are way higher than before.
Yes. They say if you want to go fast, you go alone, but if you want to go far, you go in a group.
Amazing. I like that. When you weren't getting success on Instagram, what did you do so that we can move the story forward?
Okay, so when I was not getting success on Instagram, I started to try other platforms. Okay, I had seen this woman that had success on Threads, so I started posting on Threads too. I'll make one content and post on all platforms. I was concentrating mainly on Threads after Instagram. Okay,
Oh,
and on Threads, I could barely, at least for Instagram, I could get about 300 views.
oh,
Let's say 150 to 300 views in a month on one video. But on Threads, I could get just one like, which is by myself. Okay, one like by myself, and sometimes my friends, my two friends. So maximum 3 likes. Okay, we could get maximum 3 likes. But like, should I say fortunately or unfortunately or surprisingly, it didn't even move me.
oh,
Like I wasn't even discouraged, and I was surprised I wasn't discouraged at that point. In my mind, I was testing things.
oh,
And I wasn't discouraged if you are testing things. If you are testing things, that means you don't know the results or you don't know the outcome.
yeah.
And then you are ready for whatever comes. I went to YouTube Shorts. I posted on YouTube Shorts. Again, I got one like, which was from yours truly, myself. Okay. I got one like from you. All my videos, if you go to YouTube right now, I have one like this for myself. And then, so YouTube, Instagram, Threads, and Twitter. And no, sorry, TikTok. So I went to TikTok, I posted. Before that, I had like 24 followers on TikTok, yeah? So I kept posting on TikTok too. Maximum views on TikTok. First, it was like 100, it got to maybe 300 on 340. I was like,
Mhm.
this looks good. So I kept posting, not just on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, and TikTok. As at now, as I'm talking to now, I still post on the 4 platforms.
Yeah.
But I posted a video one day on TikTok, yeah. I had a conversation with my friend. I was talking about now my niche is weight loss. I was talking about weight loss, yeah. And I was telling my friend videos I've been seeing people on TikTok eh, talking about some myth and some lies in quotes about weight loss. You could do this to lose weight. And I was telling my friends, these all these things are not true. I don't know
Mm.
why even people like this are even getting the tractions, and people like myself that I believe I'm telling the truth, or I'm even doing way better content that these people are getting it. And he was like, well, why don't you comment and tell them that you don't think whatever they are saying is true and all that? I was like, really? Is TikTok going to ban me? That's what I asked my
Mhm.
friend. He was like, hell no. Just a comment. Just keep it respectful and in the guidelines and whatever. So okay. So I just did what my friend said. I saw a couple of those videos. I sent it to my friends, and I was like, these are some of the things I was talking about. He was like, go ahead and drop your bomb. I was like, okay. So I just did. But before that, I had posted a video. I had posted a video talking about, I think you saw that video on Instagram talking about a lime. You remember?
Yes.
Yes. I had posted it on all platforms. I had posted it on TikTok too. So I gave a couple of comments. People came back to the comments asking more questions. You
Okay.
know, the guy was talking about making a concoction to burn your belly fat.
Mm.
And then I went in and I was like, that concoction is not going to burn your belly fat. The science behind it is that you need to get your insulin levels low. You are gaining fat because you have high insulin levels. The science is there. Do the research for yourself and stop letting these people. If you are drinking this concoction, the only thing I can promise you're going to have is diarrhea. So these were the things I was telling people. They will come ask questions. One will come to challenge what I was saying. So it became a back and forth. Because I knew I was speaking my truth, I was always go back and reply the comments. I had 24 followers, okay? And I had posted that video. I did that comment. I slept. We wake up in the morning. I was talking to my friend. We were having a chat in his hall. And then I opened my app. When I opened my app, mind you, my average views on TikTok were about 300, 350. When I opened the app, that video was 5,000 views. I saw people watching and people commenting. So I started to reply those people commenting. And then by evening, the video was 15K. I still even don't know how the algorithm works. I was just being myself, actually. I was not chasing
Mm.
clout or anything. I was just being myself. And then later, I saw that the video is over 20. It's like, wow. And the hook for that video was chucking lemon juice every morning is not going to burn your belly fat. And that video did so well that it started bringing followers to me.
Mm.
And moving from 24 followers to over 150 followers, TikTok gave me approval to go for live. Usually you have to get 1,000 followers to be able
Yeah.
to go live. But I didn't have the 1,000 followers. I wasn't even looking forward to going to live. But when TikTok gave me that congratulations on your video, now you can go live, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. So I told my friend, was like, hey, he was just jubilating for me. And I was like, well, this is a sign to go to live. But before that, I had already spoken to you about live and you had given me the tips and what to do for live. So maybe I think a couple of days later after that, I decided to go to live. And that is when I realized that I had to send my ID. TikTok had to verify my age and things like that. They said they were going to take 24 to 48 hours to do that. I was like, damn, I wanted to start this live now. But after 24 hours, they approved it. And that is when I started going on live. And when I started going on live, it would be the people on the people watching me. I remember you once said that you can go on live and there will be just one person or two people, but you just have to talk to them like you are talking to the masses, right?
Yes.
So I went on live especially from the beginnings. I'll see people come in and then leave. They will come and leave. They will come and leave. They will come and leave. But later it will be just my friends. So again, it will be myself or my girlfriend on the live and my friends. If my girlfriend is at work, it was going to be my friends. So maximum 2 people or 3. So it's like family and friends on a WhatsApp call, you know.
Yeah.
But it was TikTok. But I still, even with them, when they came online, I still kept talking about weight loss. And I'll be like, drop your questions in the comments if you have any questions about weight loss, things like that, trying to engage people. Maybe drop a 1 if you are here, double tap to like the live, things like that. I kept doing it. And after a couple of days, it was just family and friends. I could really get people I didn't know,
Mm.
about 4 people I didn't know. And for me, that was a win. They came to hear what I was saying and they stayed. I was so happy. 4 people. Can you? 4 people on my live. Because when you go to the people who have over 200K, when you go to their live, 200K, they have our just 50 to 100 people. With 200K followers, they have 50 to 100 people.
Yeah.
So me with 150, or maybe at that time it had gone to 200 followers, having 4 people, for me, it was a win. They got interactive. I was happy. So I'll just go and tell my friend, hey, I got 4 people on my live today. And then they were like, yeah, keep going. It might TikTok might be the place for you. I was like, okay, yeah, for sure, we are going to keep going. So I kept posting. I moved from posting from 3 times a week to about 5 times a week. Okay, so I increased that, and then there was a time I went on live. I had posted a video 2 days to the live. Okay, and I went on live. I said, I was really I had created content till morning. I had done the
Mm.
scripting, shot about 8 videos. So it was around 8 a.m. I was like, well, before I go to bed, let me eat something. So I was cooking my normal meals, my weight loss meals, okay? I was
Mm-hmm.
cooking my normal meals, and I was like, while I'm waiting for the meat in the oven to finish, that will take about 30 minutes. I want to eat before I go to bed. Let me use that 30 minutes to go to live. So by the time I finish the live, the food will be done. I'll eat and then I'll go to bed. So I turned on the live. Again, I got about 4 to 5 people that I didn't know. They came. I was happy. When I see the number move from 0 to 3, then to 5, I was really happy. So they came, they were asking questions. And when they were asking questions, they were asking about the food I eat or the
Mm.
food I ate for my transformation.
Mm.
Okay. And one of my friends, my cheerleaders, my family and friends in their life, he was like, maybe you have to put a transformation picture and have a caption so that when they come, they will know what is going on. So he gave me that idea. I did it. And that's where I was able to retain 4 to 5 people. So these people kept asking me what I eat in a day and all that. And I was like, hey, look, I eat something like peas. I brought it from my fridge and I showed them. I was like, how do you eat this? Do you replace it with rice? What do you do? I was like, okay, let me show you. Already I'm cooking. I'm in the middle of cooking. So let me just show you what I do in a day. So I
Mm.
just put the camera in front of me and started continuing cooking to show them what I eat in a day. When I raised my head, it had moved from 5 to 11 people. I was I was like, I am the man. I am the man. I'm the life king. I'm the man. It had moved to 11 people. 11 people became, remember, I've never had 11 people before. I had
Yeah.
never had 11 people before. 11 people became about 23 people. About 23 people became about 58 people. I was
On the same live.
the same live. The same live that I did, I said I was doing for 30 minutes before I go to bed. I kept cooking. I raised my head 150.
Incredible.
I kept cooking. I raised my head. Over 200 people glued watching me on live cook. Just because I was answering one question. Over 200 people watching me on live cook. I saw the numbers. I was like, no, hold on. I brought the phone near just to be sure that maybe my glasses were not working or something. I had to be sure. I had to be sure. Over 200 people. I was like, damn, is this true? I quickly took a screenshot. Just to show my friends and my girlfriend, the people who were in the room before when I had only just 2 people or 3 people, just to show to them that I see. So I took screenshots. I was like, wow. And after cooking that meal, I couldn't even eat.
We're too excited.
I was excited. I was full. I was everything. I was so excited. Over 200 people on my live. I didn't even have 300 followers.
Hmm.
I didn't even have 300 followers, but I had 200 people on my live. Then the next day, or no, not the next day, by evening, my account had grown to about 450. Like, wow. After that, I was like, well, I think I found it. The second day, I went on live, I cooked, got around the same number. I got another video that I posted a couple of days. That also started doing well. That video, as I talk to you right now, my first video that went viral is about 27K. Guess the views of the second video that went viral.
Like 20K?
It's now 60K.
Wow.
That video is now 60K. I went on live before that video got to 60K. I went on live. Mind you, I said I was having over 250 people in the live, right? I posted that video. I went on live. I was cooking. I raised my head. I have a screenshot I'm going to send to you after this. I raised my head. I had 510 people on the live. 510 people engaging, asking questions. What is in the food? Why are you eating this? When did you eat it? What are you supposed to? 510 people.
Okay. But you know what? I know that it's very exciting to hear that, okay, 500 people are engaging with you on your life, right?
Yes.
So let's take it into the business. So you're a weight loss coach,
Yes.
right? And you have a digital product that you wanted to sell. You've been trying to sell. That's why you've been creating content to
Yes.
try and sell this.
Yes.
Before starting this live thing on TikTok, had you sold any of your program?
No.
Okay. So
No.
tell us how the first sale came about and how you've been making sales after that.
So the first sale came from TikTok. Okay. And should I say to an extent, I had given up on Instagram. The first sale came from TikTok, and the second sale came from Instagram.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So we are not even. I had kind of given up on Instagram, but
Mm.
someone in the US said they saw one particular video I posted some months ago. That is why they came into my inbox, and she wants to get the program for her husband. She told me her story. We spoke. I was like, yeah, I can help your husband. That was where my second sale. So my first sale came from. So now I even believe my next sale could come from threads. It could come from YouTube. So I'm still posting there. Though I'm having success on TikTok, I'm still posting in there. So my first sale came from TikTok, obviously. And then my second sale came from Instagram. And then the rest are now coming from TikTok. But this is the interesting part for me. I woke up one morning with a message on my phone that I had made a sale in my sleep. Can you imagine? I remember when you used to talk about when you used to say this in DIS. Like I woke up, you were the first person I sent a message to though. When I woke up, I took a screenshot and I was like, damn, I made a sale in my sleep. I was sleeping. I was not on live. Well, I was not posting content at that time. I was not talking to anybody at that time. You know? And then I had made a sale. But before that sale, I was on live when I got a notification that even being on live, somebody had bought the course.
Mm.
So I was talking to people on live, but somebody was buying in my course. And after the live, I did everything, created a piece of content, went to sleep. When I woke up, was I expecting to see that? No. I was just checking my mail or my notifications. I said, Trife, congratulations. Was it the sale from yesterday? I said, no. 1 hour ago, somebody bought from me when I was sleeping. Can you imagine? I was not cooking online. I was sleeping. I was in my sleep. And somebody bought from me. I was so excited. It's not, at that point, it wasn't about the money, or it was about the fact that I didn't give up, you know, and then it's paying off. So later I called my friends and I was like, guess what? It's like, what? I sent them screenshots. It was like, hey, they started jubilee. Man, this is the space, man. There's so much to be made on the online space. If you guys are not in here, you are sleeping on so much. This is very doable. Did I doubt myself or whatever in the process? Yes, of course I did. There were times I thought that, maybe should I say oftentimes than not, often, so many times than not, I even thought this this was never going to happen to me.
So I believe that there are some people that are going to listen to this, and that is the power of just having this kind of podcast, right? Some people are going to listen to this, and there are two categories. Some people have been thinking of what am I going to do to bring money online. The second group of people are people who maybe they have digital products already, maybe they are in the process, right? And they're like, I don't know how to sell this thing. I want you to advise them because I know live streaming works. I tell people my first 100K as a coach came from going live often and really talking to my audience. And that's why I wanted us to have this conversation because I really believe in live streaming. I know it takes time. I know that you have to fight anything that will make you shy, but I believe that it works. But I wanted to come from you. Like, what would you advise someone who's just getting started? Maybe they're thinking of how to make money online, or they have digital products, but they don't know how to sell it. Over to you.
Okay, so the first thing I'll say is 3 words. I always say, Nike said it best. Just do it. You need to have that mindset that I'm ready. What are you ready for? To put in the work. That is the first thing you have to have. And then again, it comes to coaching. You cannot do it alone. You can't do it alone. When Jesus came to this earth, he had disciples. He's the Son of God, but he had disciples. He didn't have one, he didn't have two. He had what? 12 disciples. I'm not asking you to go get 12 coaches, but I'm
Mm,
saying that you need somebody.
mm.
We all do. Our coaches have coaches.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone has somebody. Get into a space, get into a community. But most importantly, start with a coach. Your coach is going to direct you to the community you have to be in. That is not how nature made it. You can't do it alone. God couldn't come down to die for himself. He sent his son. And another thing too is that your income, your income cannot grow more than your value.
Mm,
It's not possible. It's nature's. I don't make the rules. Nature made the rules. Whether you're a Christian, Muslim, whatever, you know that is how it works. Your income cannot grow more than your value. Doctors are paid that amount of money because they are doctors. Well, whatever work you are doing, you are paid amount of money because you bring certain form of value.
Sure. Okay. So let's talk about live streaming. Is it something that you're going to encourage any coach, consultant, expert, someone selling digital products? Is this something you will encourage everybody to do? Or is it something that is for people in the weight loss category kind of thing?
No, no. That is something I will encourage everybody to do. But going deeper than that, I would ask you to test and try things out there. Live is working for me, and I know mostly it's going to work for you too. But try and find a way to make it your own. I had never seen any weight loss coach cooking online. I had never seen it. The opportunity came, and then I took it, and it worked
Yeah.
for me. So yes, the live, yes. If you're on live, people get to trust you than just posting your content only and all that.
On that.
We are in a world of AI. People can do things, but when you're online, you're on live. People get to trust you.
Absolutely. You know what? I think while we're talking about live streaming, there's one challenge someone has mentioned to me before, and she was like, "Oh, like you're in weight loss, you're cooking live. It makes sense. I was on your live this morning. I saw 200 at the peak. There were 285 people on the live, and I'm thinking, this is 285 people that may not have seen you if you weren't live,
Yes.
right? But I also see the challenge of if your niche is not something that is active that you can show someone. Okay, let me use like myself as an example.
Mhm.
My niche is teaching people how to make money.
Mhm.
It is not something that is physical.
Yes.
It's more of a mental thing. And I'm sure there are people listening to this that maybe their niche is I teach people to breastfeed. I teach people to become confident. I teach people to find their husband, right? And they're thinking, well, what am I going to do on live to make it interesting? What would you suggest?
Like I said earlier, you need to try things. First of all, try as much as possible to try things. That is why coaching is important. Like
Mm,
I said, wherever you want to go, somebody has been there.
mm,
If you ask that person, you are going to get answers that on your own, even in 1,000 years, you might never had gotten that idea. I didn't know that I could cook online and people would watch. I didn't know. The opportunity came. But more importantly, you have to be prepared and you have to be present for
yeah,
yourself. Do you have to be perfect? No. I went on live with a rough hair and all that. I did. The day I went online, I got that 200. The first time my life went viral, if I should say. My face was really looking tired. I had worked throughout the night till morning. Did I mind? No. I was not perfect. I didn't have cream on my face or whatever, but I did it anyways. You don't have to, there is no particular time or moment. You only have to be ready and be prepared to take the opportunity when it comes. But when you move, the most important word here is eventually. Eventually, you are going to see beyond what you even imagined.
awesome. I love it. So, you know what? As we land this plane, can you tell us? I know you have given so much value here. You've practically told us how to have faith, how to move, how to get prepared, a lot of things. And the best part has been just using live stream to sell your digital products. I see a lot of good things coming for you. I'll tell you privately, but can you just tell us like how you help people right now, what you are selling, and where we can connect with you?
Okay, so like we said earlier, I'm a weight loss coach. I help people with sedentary lifestyle lose weight. So people like the stay-at-home moms, people who have remote jobs that they work at home from a computer, sitting all day. Those are my type of clients. The main program is the Walk the Weight Off program, which is a 90-day program. And there is also an option that comes with a coaching where you have me, should I say, you have me in your pocket every time of the day. That if you can even step into a supermarket, you see something that you say, I don't know whether I should eat this or not. You take a picture, you send to the group, and I can tell you that no, you don't need to eat this. You need to go for that. That is the personalized coaching that comes with it. Okay. I'm sure we are going to put the links in here. You can find me on Instagram at the general merchant, at the underscore general merchant. It's the same everywhere on all platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and then Threads. That's where you can find me. On Instagram, the link to my course is in my bio. On TikTok, the link to my course is in my bio. But do well to send me a message. It is for people who are ready to lose weight. It is for people who are ready to transform their body. It is for people who are ready to live a healthier lifestyle. I have the system. It works. I only need your effort to give you that transformation you want.
I love it. All right. Thank you, Jude, for being here. This has been an incredible conversation. And I know that if we continue, it's just going to make the episode too long. But I think I see a comeback episode happening soon.
Of course,
And
hitting the $100,000. I'm
I
definitely,
love that. Yes.
yeah.
So I really just want to say thank you for being here.
Always trust me. I'm always going to come back here, and I want to do this for. I didn't plan to do this, but I want to do this. Anyone that comes from you, anyone that comes from you and is ready to lose weight, okay, gets a 50% discount.
Oh, wow. Amazing. That is incredible.
Anyone that comes from you that wants to lose weight gets a 50% discount, especially if they are in DIS. No, if they are in
I,
DIS and what's the name? Forgotten the name. The School of Expansion, right?
yeah, School of Expansion.
Yeah. Anyone that comes from School of Expansion, anyone that comes from DIS gets a 50% discount on my weight loss program.
Thank you, Jude. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Jude, the general merchant. I want to say that one of my biggest takeaways from this episode has been that even if you start monetizing your knowledge and you start selling digital products and coaching, and you are struggling with sales, it is not the end of the road. I love Jude's faith and consistency in building his business. And he stumbled on something that, even though I teach inside of our program, it is not the bedrock of the program. But I love the fact that he continued to experiment until he found exactly what is working for him. And so I just want to wrap up this episode by saying, whatever it is that you are doing, don't give up. That is the message for this episode.